Velkommen til en god halvanden times tid, hvor vi skal se på Øresunds selskaber, om man så må sige, danske og svenske selskaber. Det er jo dagens tema, og vi er rigtig glade for at have jer med, og vi har, lad mig sige det med det samme, 3 spændende selskaber foran os. Vi lægger ud med et selskab, som som arbejder med at få børsnoteret både danske og svenske selskaber. Og det er en af slagsen. Det er Sedermera, som vi også i Dansk Aktionærforening har arbejdet sammen med i mange år, og som har taget over 15 danske selskaber på den svenske børs og også her i Danmark. Så det skal vi høre mere om her om lidt. Med mig siddende i Malmø har jeg Fredrik Rahl og Sebastian Hodel, som er en del af Sedermera, og som vil vise os og fortælle os lidt om, hvad selskabet står for. Fortælle os om nogle af de tendenser, de ser, også forskellene mellem det danske og det svenske aktiemarked. Så det bliver en spændende rejse. Vi lægger ud med at se en film om Sedermera, og så går vi over til de her over i Malmø. Og jeg skal sige, at det bliver på engelsk. Det har vi besluttet. Det giver den bedste dialog og debat. Så stay with us, som man populært vil kunne sige. Og så er vi tilbage efter filmen med en første præsentation, og derefter lidt spørgsmål-svar. Og I kan selvfølgelig også være med, hvis I har nogen i vores Facebook-chat. Så lad os se filmen fra Sedermera.
What makes the world a better place? It always starts with an idea. Sometimes it's a good idea, and sometimes it needs a little work to get there. And that's all right as long as there are dedicated people that keep at it. People with devotion, people with knowledge, people with grit. We depend on these people to solve our problems. Small problems, tedious problems, problems we didn't know we had, problems we wish we never had, and the really big problems, the problems that concerns us all. These people, the problem solvers, we're proud to call our customers. We come in when a prototype is ready for production, or a new drug is ready for trials. We help when there's a need to scale up to accelerate the innovation process and when it's time to go public. We do this by making our customers' ideas and innovations available to everyone. We tell their story, letting you see what we already seen and inviting you to be a part of the journey. With experience from around 100 listings, we help our customers bring in the capital needed to take the next step. We help them grow with their shareholders, and we stay by our customers' side to provide guidance and advice in all financial matters. And we're in it for the long haul, helping our customers to stay focused on what they do best. It always starts with an idea, and sometimes we can proudly say that it grows with Sedermera.
Thank you, Mikael, and thank you for having us here. We are from Sedermera Fondkommision, as Mikael mentioned, and my name is Fredrik Rahl. I work as a Director of Sales and Capital Markets at Sedermera, and have been working within the company for 15 years in different roles. So I have been part of the journey and been part of the development of the Swedish stock market, you could say, for growth companies. With me is Sebastian here.
Yes, thank you. My name is Sebastian Hodel. I'm the COO for Sedermera Fondkommision, but also head our division called Equity Sales, which we will be talking about a little bit later. I have been at Sedermera for about 5 years. I've also helped out project lead and manage approximately 20 IPOs and helped raise about 2.1 million. And we'll tell you a little bit more about that. So short about Sedermera and our group is that Sedermera is a part of Spotlight Group, a company that is specialized and focused on independent companies who work towards the public capital markets. The group consists of course, Sedermera Fondkommision, but also Spotlight Stock Market, Markets and Corporate Law, and Nordic Issuing. And all these are independent businesses that cog into each other to help out and work towards the growth segment, which we at Sedermera also work towards.
Yeah, thanks, Sebastian. Sedermera has a cross-border permission from the FSA to act as a financial advisor. And the permissions from the financial authorities is actually more important than some might think, because at the end of the day, it's all about the security for you guys as investors. So we need to keep a very high quality in every step we take. And we have, I have to say that we have a proven track record. We have done approximately 100 IPOs and 300 transactions. Have been working with a lot of different kind of companies, from exploration companies to industrial companies to IT companies to clean tech, life science, and so on. So we are proud about that, and we work across all industries. But if you look historically at the transactions that we have made, we have done a lot within the field of life science over the last years. We also take great pride in being a long-term partner to a lot of the listed companies. We have approximately 50 ongoing arrangements right now. And that is important. I want to come back to the safety for investors here, because we don't just throw out the companies into unknown waters. We are there for the companies in the long haul, helping out with communication, investor relation, corporate governance, and so on. And being there on a daily basis, of course, it's a support for our customers, but at the same time, we minimize the risk for mistakes, trying to be there to support that the shareholders and potential new investors will get quality information from the listed companies, and relevant information, of course. Back in spring 2020, we were awarded as the best financial advisor for microcap companies. And of course, we are very proud about that. It's always nice to get an external receipt that you are doing something good. We will continue our dedicated work to say, because of course we are aiming to get new awards the upcoming years. We actually won in both possible categories, in quality and share price development. And as mentioned, we are very proud about it. And these awards, they were given by the Swedish business magazine Affärsvärlden. So what have we been doing in Denmark? We have listed in total 16 Danish businesses. And the first one was Saniona. That was actually you can say a groundbreaking transaction for us, because that was our first cross-border transaction. We found a way to actually to help Danish growth companies in a good way when we work with Saniona. And the most recent one is Curasight, the successful IPO in a very interesting growth company. We also have an ongoing IPO right now in a Danish company called Sesatec. And the subscription period ends November 24th. So please have a look at that investment opportunity. You will find more information, prospectus and so on the company's website. And to give you a little bit of background why we are, or how we found our way to the Danish market, we actually started to explore the Danish terrain already back in 2008. We realized that there were a lot of really interesting growth companies in Denmark, but a lot of dry capital power as well. but we also saw that the capital didn't reach the growth companies. And that was a little bit frustrating, to be honest. So we actually set up a model where we used the Swedish capital as an engine, to say, and we add on Danish capital to get the wheels going, to say. And today we work basically in the same way. We raise capital in parallel in both Sweden and Denmark. And that has been successful so far. And I have to say that we have seen a very interesting and positive trend regarding Danish investments over the last years. And I hope and believe that that trend will continue. We will continue to work with Danish companies and Danish investors. So please count on our future involvement in Denmark.
So as Fredrik said, we have a transaction going now called Selskabet, and it's a good example for where we work with growth companies who are in a interesting stage. And the investors we work is quite wide, the investor base, I mean. And because we both work with the types who help us cornerstone the transaction, meaning institutions, semi-institutions, such as family offices, asset management firms, etc., but also high net worth individuals, but also retail investors, because it's very, very important for this chain to actually work out for the best for all parties, is that you have a liquid share when the company goes listed. So in our network, we have the possibility to give out opportunities, which means pre-IPOs, IPOs, rights issues, could be placements such as direct share issues or private placements. We also work not our primary focus, but also with loan facilities, which is a good combination for some investors and companies. So for people that are interested in taking or receiving offers like this, I would suggest to contact us, big or small, and we'll gladly have a discussion with you and see what types of offers are possible.
I think that was the last slide, but we will be glad to have some questions, Mikkel.
Of course, but thank you so much for taking us through that. And as I said, we have from Dansk Aktionærforening known you guys for some years, and today it is the topic discussing both the collaboration but also the differences between the Danish and the Swedish ecosystem, you may say. It sounds to me like you are part of this ecosystem that actually helps some of the young companies out there. And you're talking about this investor network. More specifically, what is it that, which kind of investors are you looking for to take part in that investor network?
I mean, I would say, as I said from the start, it's our network is based on a very wide range of investors. So if you're a institution or a family office or a high net worth individual, that would suit a certain kind of investment opportunities. And if you're a retail investor, that would suit a certain kind. So I would say that if you're interested in investing a smaller part, that would also be possible to invest through us, but in a certain way. If you're able to invest a larger amount, that would of course be a part of the more cornerstone part of the network, where you have the possibility to join in on pre-IPOs and cornerstone investments possibilities. Okay,
I can say also to our members and viewers out there that normally participating in the pre-IPOs, it is for the it's not for the beginners as investors. It is more for the experience that, of course, people that has some funds out there to go out. But of course, we also see that in Denmark that some investors tend to look more into these so-called pre-IPOs, that supporting the companies until they are listing. Okay, but also I want to focus on now these 16 Danish growth companies that you actually helped were listed. What has the traction been for these companies?
I mean, I would say, for our part, the most important is that all parties in a transaction is happy with that transaction, meaning that the company should, of course, be glad because they received the funds, and they did receive the funds to terms that they are happy with, but also that the investors, of course, receive a value when on that investment. And I would say, I mean, looking backwards, our investment opportunities have gained quite a good return. Approximately the average return in our investment opportunities is approximately 170%. Important to state there, that is, of course, also companies that is in a higher risk segment, and that's why you also receive that possible return. But for our part, it is important to give our investors the return that is subject to also the types of companies you invest in. So I would say that it's a good network to be involved in, and also a good network because you're able to receive a whole wide range of different possibilities and companies, which makes it interesting because, of course, all companies doesn't suit all investors, and that's why it's a good way to get to know a lot of companies out there by joining such a network.
I think just to add on there, I think it might be quite interesting to elaborate a little bit regarding how we work when we look at companies in our deals funnel. We are quite picky when it comes to choosing which companies we work with, and that is actually reflected in our business model. We have a business model where we do not have any upfront fees or monthly retainers or something like that. So we actually we need to put our skin into the game. That's good to know for investors as well, that we only work with companies where we truly believe where we can do a good job, where we think the companies are good companies and the transaction setups are done in a good way, basically. So I think that's good to know for investors as well, that our business model is like it is, and we have the skin in our game, and we think that's a fair way to share the risk with our clients.
But that is, of course, also good to hear, and for all the Danish investors, like the First North market that we have seen raised this year with a lot of new listings has been around for Sweden in many years, and also it's important to say though that if you have these 16 companies, some of them will make it, some of them will not. So it is like a field where you have to be aware that it is high risk, high reward. I mean, hopefully not that high risk, but some of the companies will not make it, and that's just to say that that's the field of business we're in with these companies, and of course it's up to you as advisors to pick the best, of course. If we should look at that one, Fredrik, with a few parameters or a few things that the private investors should look for when they pick their choices or whatever their investments. Can you give a few words on that?
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, sometimes it's actually quite tricky to understand if a company or its technology are good or not. So I think when you look at the growth companies, I think it's to mention something. I think it's important to look at the growth journey to really find the value inflection points. That must be clear when you look at the company. And of course, when you have an interesting growth journey, I think it's also very important to look at the people behind the company, because the team to actually execute on the growth plan is key. Most often, it's quite small companies with limited personnel resources. So basically, you are investing in the people, I have to say. We look at somewhere around 50 different areas when we evaluate companies, but I think those two things are crucial to look at all the time on each specific investment opportunity in growth companies. And also when you look at the transaction structure, I think this might actually be a speaking topic by itself, but just to mention it, for example, the differences between pre-subscriptions and guarantees and the different incentives to understand the transaction structure is key here, because there are big differences. And finally, please look at who is the financial advisor. Look at the track record and the reputation and so on, because that is also important when you look at the companies.
Mm. So sounds like good advices, and maybe not the most obvious things for some private investors, as the construction around the deal and the advisors. But it's good to know also for the people that actually they should look for that as well. So I think that's wise words from you there. If we take the two last questions here, Fredrik. Today, the topic is Denmark, Sweden, and differences also between the market. Can you give us a little wording on how you see that, and what's the explanation about Sweden being, in front, if we look at some parts at least, being in the investment culture?
Yeah, I think it's pretty common when you talk to Danes actually that. You talk about the tax differences between the countries, and some people claim that the tax differences, that is the explanation basically why the Swedish market is going as good as it is. But I don't agree on that one, because it needs to be seen in a broader perspective. It's all about the entire ecosystem, I have to say. And of course, the Swedish ISK accounts, they are very popular among investors. So that's one part. But I think what's most important is actually that the development has been competition driven. There has been competition between different advisors, all of them with permissions from the FSA, so high quality competition. There has been a competition over the years between the different marketplaces or exchanges, Spotlight Stock Market, First North, and GEM. And there has been competition between the innovative banks, Avanza, Nordnet. And it all has been driven by this competition. It's gone better and better over the years, I have to say. And today we have a really nice market with high trust in it. And I also want to mention, you can say there are almost created sub-markets around the financial markets. We have independent analysis of the growth companies, a fantastic way to get understandable information for investors, as well as an external view of the companies. We have news agencies covering the growth companies, and many more things. I should also mention that we have a strong shareholders association in Sweden, on you can say a culture of investing in shares that goes long back. And speaking of the shareholders association, I have to grab the opportunity here today and point out that you at Dansk Aktionærforening, you are a very important player in the Danish ecosystem. So we are looking forward to keep a good dialogue and to improve our already good relationship, Mikkel.
But yeah, thanks a lot for those words, and of course I agree. But also us collaborating is very, very important for the future, and of course also the competition. I think that's a good takeaway, and we see that increasing also in Denmark, and also with you guys being active in Denmark. So if we just end up with some words from you on what we can expect from Sedermera in the future. What is your plans here in Denmark?
I mean, I think from our side, you can count on our future involvement and presence in Denmark. There is a huge amount of exciting and interesting companies in Denmark. Fredrik here has been meeting companies in Denmark for the last 10 years, and the companies popping up everywhere is not becoming smaller, I must say. So we will continue our work in Denmark and being present there, helping companies raise capital in a sound and efficient way. And I think there will be a lot of interesting investment opportunities going forward, as Fredrik mentioned, when it comes to Selskabet, as an example. And from our part, we try to find collaborations with such as with yourselves to make sure that on the investor side they're properly informed and receive the information about what types of companies and investment possibilities is out there in a professional way, in a sound way, because that's extremely important. So from our side, I think you will see us being very present, and our deal flow is quite good from Denmark. So I would recommend to go into our homepage or give us a call. As I said before, large or small, we're always interested in talking to people and getting their ideas. So please contact us, or if you have any questions or anything you're thinking about. Fredrik, do you have anything?
No, not far. I think we're fine there. And once again, thanks for having us here, and will be our pleasure to participate in the Investor again. And I wish you all a nice week here. And I think that's all from our side.
Yeah, but I would just like to end up, saying thanks that you are participating in what we call the shareholders' democracy, and also that we can do this Øresundsdagen cross-border thing, because that is the future, of course. So thank you very much. And if people have some questions, they can also write them on our Facebook wall, and we will look that you guys would answer them. So looking forward to see you also face to face. It's not that far away. So when Corona has left us, we'll see you again here. And thanks to you. And we'll pass on to the next company here. So bye bye.
Super. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.